let's nose our way out of the parking lot here. We're fixing to go on a quick test drive. There's a couple customer states in this thing. Let me pull out and I'll see what the deal is. You guys hear that? It's an exhaust leak. Customer states there's an exhaust leak that they found under the driver's seat, and there appears to be like a clanky rattle noise. I think I just heard it a second ago. Let's go over some bumps and see if we can't recreate it. There's a banging, clanking noise. Oh, there it is. I heard it. A little bit of clicks. Yeah, that feels centralized to this side of the car as well. It feels like it's just underneath the floorboard. This is a 3.5 liter V6 powered Chevrolet Impala, 119,737 miles on it. It's a Michigan car, 2011 year model. It's got Michigan tags on it. I imagine we're gonna find some crustomatic rust from the salt, but they state, we got a second here, there's some traffic. Exhaust leak under the driver's side seat, sway bar links making clunky noise when turnings, and they believe there's an airbag clock spring not working because the buttons on the steering wheel are not functioning. So a couple things to check on this. Some electronic inspections, we got some rust inspections, some exhaust inspection, and maybe some steering inspection when I'm not pulling out in front of that truck. Yeah, sorry everyone behind me. I like to not get run over by 80,000 pound trucks. You good there, buddy? Yeah, I hear the exhaust leak for sure. We have some debris in the road. It's coming right for us. Look out! Danger! I just heard that turbo spool up in that truck. Got a bit of a vibration under acceleration. Look at that guy. Did you see that guy? He just nudged in front of that truck on a downhill coming up to a red light, took up his stopping space. That's how you get run over. What's wrong with you, man? Nobody ever taught you physics. From the University of somewhere. Yeah, you need to learn physics there, buddy. Or at least common courtesy. That was rude. Yeah, it's like a phenomenon when you have a truck and a trailer. I noticed that when I tow my trailers. It's almost like you're beckoning people to get in front of you to slam on the brakes to make a turn. Like they don't understand kinetic energy. Anyway, I hear the exhaust leak. Oh, there's that click. I just heard that like in the column. Yeah, we've got an exhaust leak. There's a clicking noise going on. Let's do it. And some steering wheel buttons. So let's get back to the shop. We're gonna run this thing up on the 4-post rack, get it up in the air, do an underneath carriage inspection and see what's broken causing that clicky noise. And then we'll put the estimate together and go from there. Let's see what it does on these tracks. No clicks. There it is. Wow, this thing's just floating. It is not stable at all. All right, back to the shop we go. Stay tuned, folks. This is gonna be a very good video. Excellent, we return. Let's get this thing up in the air and see what the dealio is here. Cool beans, that'll do. Let's leave it running. We'll run this thing up in the air and check the exhaust leak first. Good idea. Moving on up. What'd you find in that tire there, brother? Is it a bolt?
Yeah.
Oh no, all right. All the way up. All right, that's pretty close. Sorry for all the noise. Cassidy's over there running the blasting cabinet and the compressor is going and going and going. So it's a little noisy at the moment. Down on the locks for some safety. go. Let's go find that leak. I hear it. There it is. That was easy. Yeah, the muffler resonator. Muffler's back there. The resonator is crust-o-matic and rusted out, and there's holes in it. There's one. Yeah, there's a couple holes in this thing. There's one. Another one. A couple more right there. Yep. So we need a new one of these, which means this is going to get chopped out and we're going to weld a straight pipe in. That's not great. See that? That's Michigan. It's the Michigander rust. I need A-Rod. Where you at, brother? I can't fix this myself. Look at that. Yeah, there's no threads. That's not even a bolt anymore. So these fasteners right here, we'd have to cut those off, drill holes out through it, and then put a nut in a bolt in to secure the flange. So I'll probably have to chop that off, chop this off, take the hanger off, lower the whole exhaust down, fit a new piece of pipe in, then weld it, fit it, tack it, unbolt it, drop it down, then weld it again. That's the plan on the exhaust here. Ooh, it's hot. Figure out what's up with some sway bars. I'll tell you what, let's shut this thing down. I'm gonna let the truck down. I'm gonna shut the compressor off. We gotta get some silence in the shop. Okay, we're over here at the tire. I'm gonna show Troy how to do a proper patch plug tire repair. So we've got the injury marked right here, all right? Now, back inside, you can see the protrusion right there. So what we're gonna do, use a patch plug, kind of poke that thing through. Okay, yep, that's definitely the injury. So, Troy, where's your tire chalk at? Where's your piece of chalk?
Right yonder.
There it is, thank you. So what we're gonna do, on the inside, we're gonna go ahead and just mark that injury. It's easy to lose them. We're gonna take this little Ziz wheel, we're gonna scuff up the surface inside in preparation. So I've got this little roll-lock wheel right here, little abrasive wheel. Now, I'm not a tire shop, so I don't have the, oh crap, I don't have the best tire repair equipment, but we're gonna make do with what we got here. We gotta polish all that surface up. Loud noises. There we go. So the idea was to knock down that textured area right there and get all the waxy coating off of the injury area. That's why we polished this. If you go too deep, you'll run down into the cords, the nylon inside of the tire, and you'll compromise the internal structure of said tire.
No bueno.
Yeah, because if you polish through down to the nylons, the air it'll follow those cords past the rubber, and it can find its way out of the tire. It'll cause a leak by grinding down too far.
Okay.
Yeah, usually what people do is they just throw bead sealer on it, like that fixes it, but it doesn't. It's a damaged tire. Plus, if you grind into the nylon, that's actually the structure of the carcass of the tire. So if you start breaking that structure, now you've weakened the tire. So you just very lightly get rid of that little bit of surface right there. So then, you take some cleaner. This is brake clean. I'm not supposed to use brake clean on this, but it'll be fine. Done it before. And a scraper. Just kind of give the area a bit of a scrape. And it scrapes off. See all that stuff built up right there? It's going to scrape off all those little granules, because those will compromise your patch. Then we take some vulcanizing rubber cement. Uh-oh, that's rusted on. Now it's not on. Get some glue. Don't smell it. Take that glue. Put that right in there, just nice and real thin like. Spread it around. See how it's starting to kind of dry out by itself? So you leave that alone. Let it dry. It'll dry super quickly. If it doesn't, because it's too humid out, just blow on it some. But when it stops appearing wet, that's when it's ready to rock and roll. See how we're starting to dry out?
Yeah.
So while it's doing that, we can prep the patch. It's kind of a little guy. I'll take it. So we prep the patch. Put you guys over here. Fold it. See how it splits? We don't touch the inside part. We don't want debris and fingerprints on it. And then same thing with this the shank right here. Peel that blue stuff off. Now, this is rubber, this is sticky, and this is also rubber. We've got to drag this through some rubber, so we do need a little bit of lubrication. Realize that the glue is now dry, or should be, on the inside of the tire. So we'll put a little bit of glue right there to lubricate this as we shove it through. Okay. Come in here, find the hole. Poke it through the hole. It should be poking out the other side right there. Very good. So we'll take some pliers here and just get a hold of that patch, and we just leverage the patch right through. Pull it down. A little bit more. Come on, patch. There we go. That last little bit, pull it through. Okay, so what we're supposed to do now is take a little stitching tool and you roll over top of this to squeeze out the air bubbles and press it in. I don't have that tool, or we can't find it, because I don't do a lot of tire repair work, so I'm just going to do this by hand. Press this patch down, make it nice and seated. And that should do. Good to go. One tire repair. All right, now we're done. If there's any extra, you can either choose to cut it off, or the road will do that for you. Got some side cuts right here. You just go in there like so and get a hold of it, snip it off. Good to go, and that will wear down flush. All set. This tire is good for about another 10 years of service. So now we just have to lube it up, lube it back up, put it back on the wheel, bolt it back in the truck. Good to go. Now you know I have to get you the tire tools. We don't have the right tools for this. So I do need to get those. That's now on my list. Anyway, back to the Impala. Did I call this thing a Monte Carlo earlier? I think I did. Power down. Okay, so we found the leak. Let's take a look at those sway bars and see what the clicking noise is. All right, clicking noise. Okay, sway bars. Here's our sway bar, or anti-roll bar. Yeah, that looks okay. That bushing's not great, but that's not the noise. There we go. Okay, I believe that noise is going to be in the steering gear. I believe. Number one, that steering gear is leaking. And number two, see that right there, that bolt? There's supposed to be a cover over that thing, and there's a seal in there. And I'm seeing exposed bearings. See that? Yeah, that's not good. We got a bunch of road dirt being jammed into the bearings. I think this thing needs a power steering rack and pinion. That would be our noise. Now the question is, does it come down? Look at here. See that bolt? That bolt has been touched. And the bracket, or the body that bolt bolts to, is covered in rust. Someone touched that one too. Before we proceed to do anything, let's make sure these subframe bolts are going to come loose, because I do believe we need to lower this subframe down in order to get this steering gear to come out of here. So this may not be an even doable job. And look at here, it also needs lower control arms. That bushing is blown out very severely. See the crack in it right there? That's potentially our noise. This bushing is not blown out. Oh yeah. So we need one control arm. Yeah, it's tough to say which one of these is exactly the situation. So the job's going to be built to repair both. But let's make sure these bolts are going to come out before I do anything else. I'd hate to promise a repair and then I go to start on it and find out that you can't take the bolts out of the body, and it's a non-doable job. So first things first, let's get the big socket. See what happens here. Well, that's not even tight. See that? Man, hang on. Let's get an impact out. Okay, that came right out. Other side, you guys see? Here. There, now you can. Let's see if this one's tight. No, it's not. There's pieces of the car falling off. Subframe's tight now. How about the front bolts? Let's see if this one's tight here. Yes, it is. Oh, give me back my socket. Let's check this one. Yeah, okay. So the front ones are tight, the rear ones are loose. That could have been our clicking noise also. Loose subframe bolts. Regardless, it still needs a rack, and it still needs a control arm. Okie dokie doos. We have some approvals. We're gonna do the steering gear. We're gonna do the control arm. We're gonna also add on those bushings we talked about. We're gonna do some power steering fluid on it, and we're gonna fix this muffler business. So I've got all the parts ordered. I won't have this thing till 6 a.m. tomorrow, and that other stuff won't be here till tomorrow either. Now, I don't want to try to take this subframe down while we're on the 4-post ramp lift. We're gonna have to move this over to one of the other stalls, but those are both occupied right now at the current point in time. So what I'm gonna do is start tearing this down right now and do what I can. We're gonna chop this muffler out, and then we'll pick up once parts start to be delivered. So I've got the little miniature sawzall here. We're gonna chop these bolts off, no problem with the saw blade, and then try to get this thing to separate. So we're trying to make some loud noise. Hang on here, the wind from the fan's blowing dirt in my face. I don't like that. Let's try this here. I think the bolt's winning. Wow. Okay, so it appears to me that the heat generated here has caused that gap. This thing's bent now. The gap has closed up and I can't get a saw blade in there, so we need to bend it. I got the pneumatic linear impact driver here. Give this thing a couple little love taps. Loud noises. Okay. Well, we're kind of through, a little bit. Let's try to jostle it loose. Beautiful. See that? There's the stud right there. Okay, one is done. Let's hit this next side. I wonder. No. So this bent hanger right here is obstructing my line of sight for my saw, so we're gonna bend that back. Bend it back better later. Bend back better. Yeah, highly effective. Let's see how we're gonna do this. I have to go in kind of sideways and change the angle. Seriously, the wood bit, the wood cutting bit, that's the one that did it for me. How about that? It's great. All right, it's off, so let's hit it one more time with the hammer impact business and see if it pops loose like the other side there. Let's give it some love taps. It's starting. Yeah, that stud's hanging on to it though. Not anymore. Okay, so now I'm gonna put this thing back up and line those holes back up again. We're gonna vice grip this thing together just to hold this into the flange or into the pipe up, because I'm gonna go around to the back side with the saw down there and chop it off. And it'll be easier to chop it if it's not flip-flopping all willy-nilly like everywhere. You know that? So now, come back, sawzall this resonator off, right? Oh, as close as I can right here to the weld. I can cut off more later, but I can't add more on. I mean, I could, but that would be a duplication of effort. Let's see if the wood bit or the wood blade works on this right here. Probably not. You serious? I'm amazed that this plywood bit is chopping through this exhaust pipe. All right, let's retrieve our component here. There she is. Nasty Crustomatic. Yep, just straight through. There's fiberglass packing. There's an inner pipe inside of here that's perforated. It's got a bunch of holes in it. And around that there's a bunch of fiberglass material, and the sound passes through all those little perforations and is absorbed by the fiberglass material. Let's see if we can't see a couple of them here. Nope, not yet. Need more light. There they are. There's those little perforations. See all the holes? That's how the resonator works. These are designed to remove high pitch frequency noises, and then the muffler with its larger chamber and open spaces, that's designed to cancel out the low pitch frequency noises. Wow, more Michigan. Now I understand those license plate you guys have. Pure Michigan right here. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's pure Michigan. It just keeps coming out. Dang. All right, all done. Okie dokes, the rack is empty. It's the next day because the Chevrolet is over there. There was no chance we were going to do a steering gear on the flat rack. There's just not enough space. We'd have to work around it. So we moved it over this morning. The exhaust pipe is here. I found something interesting when I unboxed it. I was afraid of this. Look at that there. Flange is correct, but somebody in whatever land of whoever decides to size what size these are going to be, they did make the overall length the same, but the problem is they didn't account for the material loss from the weld being cut off. And there we go, that's straight. And when we take this guy and try to mock it up, look what we get. That's held up right there on the flange. We've got that much space. Now I realize when I draw this pipe up, it's going to close up that gap a little bit, but we're still looking at an inch or so of gap. So preemptively, I ordered some pipes to go with it. I think I can get away with just this little collector piece right here. We'll just slide this over. I'll show you. What we'll do is we'll slide this on. Get on there, you. Put that over there, right? Then when we put this up here and bolt it on, we'll just slide it all together. That's gonna work, and then I can weld it. So, first things first, I can't weld on paper, so let's take this over to the bench grinder, get it cleaned off, get rid of the paper. and then we will start the assembly of the exhaust system. Beginning loud noises now. Wire wheel, my favorite wheel. Getting hot. Woo! Okay, now that is weldable. Okay, so take a look real close. There's a bunch of gasket material stuck on that. Now, we could be hack job mechanics and just throw some orange silicone in there, or we could be parts cannon hack job mechanics and just button up another gasket over top of that one and hope for the best. But I'd rather have some kind of integrity here, so we're gonna clean off that surface with this little abrasive wheel here, called the Ziz wheel. Loud noises again, but it's gonna peel all this nasty away from here. Give us a good surface. We need to step it up. Sandpaper time. I gotta tell you, this vehicle is resisting the effectiveness of my power tools. Getting annoying. I don't like this one either. Smaller one. Less flex. More speed. I found metal. Nice and shiny. That's pretty. Kind of. You can see, look at how damaging rust is. You can see the indentations of the texture of the old gasket, because it created these pits of rust in that surface. That's crazy sauce. The pulverized metal is thick. You can taste it. It's gross. You taste that? You smell it? Nasty.
I know what it tastes like.
Yep. Gross. Okay, let's get our little collector adapter piece kind of fitted. Okay, let's take the gasket and just park that right there for right now. And the pipe. Walker. You guys remember Mad Max, right? Beautiful. So we'll take this guy. The question is, do we want the bolts going this way, or do we want them going this way? I'll be a front to back kind of guy today. We'll do it this way. One nut to secure. Take this guy, rotate it through. Next bolt on the other side. I know you guys can't see. I can't see, you can't see. There we go, that one's good. Beautiful. Okay, 15 millimeter wobbly bit on the quarter driver. This gun and this battery does that.
tactical reload.
Fail to feed. Okay, let's put the little rubber hanger guys back up. No, that one goes there. This one here on the other side. There we go. Now, when we found this, these hangers had fallen down, so we're gonna bend those back a little tighter. Let me show you what's going on. They've been pulled and bent straight, those little hanger hooks, so I'm gonna bend them back if I can, because that's probably gonna bounce off of there at some point. See that? This one's a little better looking, but I don't really care for that one there. Let's redo real quick. Hammer time. Yar! Can I do it? Yeah, got it. That was tough. Woo! Flangy power. All right, that's on. This is on. That collar sits about like yay so right there. Let's weld it up. Time to make the multiple pieces of metal one piece of metal. Let's do it. Let's do it. I can't see. It's too dark. I got the ground over there. Parts right here. Let's tack it on. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Don't know where we're getting to, but we're getting there. We finish this weld up. I'm not gonna make you guys watch 20 minutes of me welding, so let me weld this up and we'll check out the fine craftsmanship when we're completed. Okay, we've got her welded back together. Not the greatest, I think. I was a little bubbly right here. I didn't burn any holes through it. I had the temperature turned down, voltage a little bit lower than usual for better puddle control. But what was happening is the splatter was bridging a gap between the tip of the welder and the material, and it was causing an arcing outside of the wire, which was shutting down my welding operation. So turning the weld down was not effective as I would have liked. However, the repair appears to be highly effective, and this section is ready to rock and roll. So now the drivers of the car will not die from carbon monoxide poisoning from the exhaust gases entering the cabin up above. So moving forward, fellers they got the rack out, the steering gear. The new one's back in, a new one right here. Hello. Troy's all smiles today. Look at you. Yeah. Yep.
I'm just all giggity.
You're all giggity? Right on. Yeah, we got moved tie rods for it. Whoa! That almost went through your foot.
I got snails.
Yeah? But still, I saw that live action. Good thing you weren't wearing Crocs today. This is why we wear safety shoes.
That's why I was smiling.
Because you're not wearing Crocs?
No, because it's dangerous.
Danger. Yep, control arms here. That's the new one, new bushing, not destroyed. And as soon as we get that thing done, we can fire this thing up, check for leaks on the exhaust. Yeah, it went through. Beautiful. Steering shaft. Okay.
I had a wrench over there.
A winch? You need a winch?
I had a winch. I don't know what my winch.
Get yourself a new winch. Proof on video, Ray hates women. I said the word wench. So we're now having a vocabulary lesson and a history lesson on the term winch. Because winch, like most words in the English language, have multiple meanings. One word used to refer to the female specimen of the human race. The other meaning of the word is to winch something, like The thing on the back of the tow truck that pulls the other cars on the tow truck, that is also a winch. Do we know any other definitions of winch? Anybody want to look up the dictionary? Is there a third one in there somewhere? Somebody's gonna post the dictionary definition of winch in the comments, and then I have to pin that comment.
I would, but
and then we can have a feud. No, not you. Let the viewers do it, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, you've left viewership, and now you're over here. That's a different story.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, so you can't consume and create at the same time. You can only consume or create. That applies to many things in life. You're either a consumer or you're a producer.
That was beautiful.
Wasn't it? I thought so. I found it to be highly insightful. But some jackwagon will call me a clown for it and tell me I should just stick to oil changes. And that's fine. Because, you know why?
What?
Because the words of hate no longer have power. That power has been lost.
Stick to oil changes.
Well, yeah, I'll just stick to oil. No, I'd rather do oil changes and then run my mouth about my meaningless opinion on the internet instead. You know why? Because we're all mouthpieces and we all can do that. You can do whatever we want. It's a free country, right? Mostly. It's about to be. You guys, it's been a couple hours. I got distracted. I was over in the sandblasting cabinet making these valve covers nice and shiny so we can get them painted. And I forgot to film the finishing of the Impala. Troy was, hi Dave, don't run me over. Bye Dave. We've got the steering gear inside and Troy's doing the ligament right now. What's up, brother? Yeah, we're getting the wheels lined up as we speak, but this thing is pretty much finished. Hey Troy, I forgot my outro. Can you start the engine when you're done so we can check for leaks? I didn't do my last 1%. So I'm going back down here. Oh, you gotta push the button when you're ready. You have to bring the remote with you. Yeah, you gotta bring the remote, and then when you're done with your caster sweep, hit OK, and then you're good to go. Almost. A little bit on that right rear, left rear. Yeah, fire it up for me. Let me do a check. Yeah, go ahead. I feel no leakages. I hear no leakages. We have no leakages. Fantastic. So this car is about good to go. We're ready to rock and roll on it. As soon as we're done with this alignment, we can call them up and send this one on its way. So that being said, we have nothing more to offer you on this particular video other than a thank you as always for watching this video. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below. Do not forget to consider engaging that like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on future content. And most importantly, have yourselves a fantastic day. I'm going back to my blasting cabinet. We've got an oil pan to clean up for our 6.2 liter LS supercharged build. More on that to come later on. See you guys in the next one. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Stay blessed. Inner transmission.